You were born with blue eyes. Now, while that might not seem like that big of a deal, in 17th century Japan, it was a different story. Because in 17th century Japan, foreigners were outlawed from entering the country. And if you were born with blue eyes, that meant you had foreign blood, and would be an outcast, considered less than human. You now know four corrupt, powerful men, one of which is undeniably your father. You now have approximately four options. You can either A, move on with your life and try to be happy, B, uh, resent your life circumstances and do nothing about it. C, kill all four of them in the hopes that one of them is your father. Or D, figure out who your father is and then kill him. I will give you approximately 10 seconds to decide. You're taking too long. Obviously, the answer is C. You're going to kill every single one of them, right? No other way to do it. So I'm sure you're over here wondering what I'm blabbering on about this time. And this time it just so happens to be the great and wonderful show Blue Eye Samurai. Now, as usual, I'm late to this Matsuri, and the sake is almost gone, but I can still try and squeeze out a few drops and try to get as ditzy as possible. Try to soak out all this fun with a sponge. Now, this show was nominated for an Emmy, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I think it deserves it. I think this is a simple story, very beautifully told. I really think the story is pretty generic, pretty simple. I think where the show truly shines is in how its story is told. It's not, in my opinion, a super in-depth story. It hits some pretty simple, almost folktale-like story beats. But I think the way it's told is beautiful, and I think that really shines through in episode 5. I'm gonna try not to give spoilers for episode 5, but I will say just the way episode 5 is filmed or produced, I guess, is truly beautiful. Chef's kiss. Uh, I think that episode is really what, for me, and I'm sure for many other people, like gets you invested in the story. I think the first 4 episodes are good too, but I don't think they're especially unique. I think it really shines through once you get to episode 5. And then onward, I think it's good after that, and 5 is where it really shines brightest. Um, the artisticness, I guess, of the storytelling. Now, just because I'm wearing a shirt with ramen on it and watch anime doesn't mean I'm a scholar of Japanese history. In fact, quite the opposite. I know about as much as Japanese culture and history as a bird knows about the culinary arts. But I will go out on a limb here and say I do think that a lot of the way this show handles Japanese culture and like portrays historic Japanese culture in like the 1600s, I feel is very well done. Obviously, I don't know much about the culture or the history or whatever. Like it's not, blah blah blah. But I think it's done really well. As for the animation, I think it's really good. I'm not a particular fan of this style of character animation. I think Arcane is the only show that does this particular style of character animation in a way that I actually like. But for the most part, it's not a style I'm a huge fan of, but I think it's really good nonetheless. And I think the backgrounds are also really, really well done. The scene design, I thought that was beautiful. I think it was very well done. Also, the action sequences I think were really, really well done. Really well cinema cinematographed. Yeah. I also took the liberty of starting to rewatch this in the Japanese dub to kind of, for the immersion, I guess. What did I do? Um and I think what the I want to say I think the English dub is just so well done. Like you would think you would want to watch it in Japanese because it takes place in 1600s Japan to like to help with the immersion. But I think the English dub is just so good that worth it to watch the English dub. But I did take the liberty of starting a rewatch in Japanese, uh, both just to compare and also to kind of help me learn Japanese. And I didn't understand really like any of it, but I did learn a new word, and that word is momoda or momo. I think da is something to do with like the way sentences are formed, so I'm not sure if that's actually part of the word. But anyway, that means peaches. And if you've seen episode 1, you'll know that it's pretty funny that that's the only word I've learned so far. So yeah, that's kind of funny. Um, and if you don't know when you watch it, I think you'll understand. But yeah, I think the Japanese dub is good. I think the lip syncing is also really well done. I couldn't really tell that it was like not mint. I mean, if I hadn't known already, I don't think I would be able to tell that it was originally dubbed in English and not Japanese. I think the lip syncing is really well done, and generally the voices are good. By the way, probably my favorite voice actor, I'm gonna say it for the English, was Seki. I love Seki's voice actor, or his voice. I don't know anything about the voice actor, but yeah, feel free to watch whichever. I guess I recommend the English on first watch through. I think it's really, really good. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a solid 8 out of 10. I think it was really good. Uh, I would, can't wait to see season 2. Anyway, that's about it. Maybe like and subscribe. I don't know. I don't really care. Uh, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Johnny.